Hello and a very warm welcome to World This Week by Latest Laws. This is our weekly program, so subscribe and press the bell icon to get notified. My name is Monica Rahar and let's get started by having a look at Supreme Court this week. The Honorable Apex Court in the case of Amar Singh versus the State NCT of Delhi has reiterated a settled position of law, which is to the following effect. Conviction can be based on sole eyewitness testimony only if the witness is wholly reliable and the testimony of such a witness is consistent throughout. In the matter pertaining to Facebook officials being summoned by Delhi Assembly, the Apex Court has extended the interim order and ordered status quo till further hearing on December 2nd. The Honorable Court has constituted one-member committee to monitor stubble burning causing air pollution in Delhi-NCR. Honorable Justice Retired Madan B Lokur is appointed as the head of the committee. In the case of Bikramjeet Singh versus State of Punjab, the Honorable Apex Court has held that subsequent filing of Chargesheet does not extinguish indefeasible right of accused who applied for a default bail. The chairman of the Apex Court appointed high-powered committee for the Chardham road project has written a fresh letter to the Supreme Court alleging violations of the top court order and reiterating that the road ministry must build only an intermediate panel or a lane without the stretch. A PIL has been moved in the Supreme Court seeking removal of Andhra Pradesh CM Jagan Mohan Reddy for his scandalizing remarks against the second most senior judge of the Supreme Court, Justice N.V. Ramana. CM Reddy wrote a letter to the CJI and he also disclosed the content of the letter in a press conference accusing Justice Ramana of interfering with the administration in the state. The Supreme Court Advocates on Record Association issued a resolution, expressed deep anguish on such a letter, and the Supreme Court Women Lawyers Association also supported such a resolution. The Apex Court has directed the centre that it should implement as soon as possible interest waiver as loans of up to Rs 2 crore under the RBI moratorium scheme in view of COVID-19 crisis, saying that the common man's Diwali is in the hands of the government. A petition has been filed before the Supreme Court seeking its direction to the centre to frame a model builder-buyer agreement and also a model agent-buyer agreement to infuse transparency, reduce frauds and restrain promoters from indulging in arbitrary, unfair and restrictive trade practices. The Apex Court has extended transportation of iron ore in Goa mining firms till January 2021. The Supreme Court has refused to allow second chance to failed students of class 9th and 11th whose schools are affiliated to the Council for the Indian School Certificate Examinations to appear for exams in a bid to improve their scores and get promoted to the next class. The court has issued a notice to the National Payment Corporation of India and the RBI on a petition alleging authorities are permitting WhatsApp to start a UPI payment application in India without the mandatory requirement of storing data within the country. The Supreme Court monitored Pollution Control Authority has stated that stringent measures to fight air pollution will come into force in Delhi and its neighbouring states including Rajasthan and UP from October 15 as a part of the Graded Response Action Plan. The Apex Court has allowed NEET exams to be conducted on 14th of October for students who could not appear for the exam due to COVID-19 infection or because they were residing in a containment zone. Now let's proceed to the next segment of our news analysis and have a look at Delhi High Court this week. Making an observation to the effect that laws are gender neutral and that they are the rights of every citizen of this country, the High Court of Delhi has sought responses from the centre and that from the Delhi government on petitions by two same-sex couples seeking legal recognition of their marriages under two different civil laws, the first being the Special Marriage Act and the second being the Foreign Marriage Act. The court has directed the centre to look into a man's complaint claiming that the photographs of his deceased wife are being circulated as that of the Hathras victim. The High Court has suggested that the counsels appearing for the centre and that for the filmmaker of Gunjan Saxena, the Kargil Girl movie, to sit together and sort out the issues related to the content shown in the movie. The conundrum governing freedom of speech and the blurring boundaries of unethical journalist ethos continues as a group of Bollywood filmmakers has moved the Delhi High Court seeking direction to Republic TV along with Times Now and their prominent faces to refrain from making irresponsible, derogatory and defamatory remarks against the Bollywood as a whole and to stop conducting media trials against Bollywood personalities. The court has suggested to the Central Board of Secondary Education, that is the CBSE, to put in place a system for students to change their names, surnames and other details in their class 10th and 12th mark sheets and certificates. Now let's proceed and have a look at the Bombay High Court this week. The Nagpur bench of the Bombay High Court has directed the government of Maharashtra to clarify about the legal provisions under which the private hospitals are being used as dedicated COVID-19 healthcare facilities. Now let's proceed and have a look at the Allahabad High Court. The state of UP has approached the Allahabad High Court and has made a request in a letter which was written to the Registrar of the High Court to ensure disposal of cases related to crimes against women and also cases lodged under the POCSO Act on a priority basis in the state. A PIL was filed before the High Court of Allahabad to allow involvement of the civil society organizations and NGOs in COVID-related relief works of the state. In response to such a petition, the court has highlighted the indispensable role of these civil societies in making relief efforts reasonable and also reachable to each and every person in need. The court also issued directions to the government to look into the eventualities of enhancing the involvement of such civil society organizations in such relief measures. Next, we have an update in the Krishna Janmabhoomi dispute matter. Lord Shri Krishna Virajman has preferred an appeal in the court of District Judge Mathura. The court has granted bail to a senior Samajwadi Party leader and Lok Sabha MP from Rampur, Azam Khan, his wife Dr. Tazeen Fatima, and his son Mohammad Abdullah Azam Khan in a fake birth certificate case pending in Rampur district. Next, we have an update from the Kerala High Court. The Kerala High Court has said that stringent actions will be taken against investigating officers and the media if confession statements given by an accused to police are leaked and discussed during the course of probe. Now let's proceed with the miscellaneous segment of our news analysis. In response to a Bombay High Court order, the Bar Council of India has clarified that no physical exam for intermediate semester students are going to be held till physical reopening of the colleges, which should ideally reopen after the COVID-19 crisis is averted. The Advertising Standards Council of India has rejected a complaint against a Tanishq advertisement for allegedly promoting communal intermingling, saying that there is no violation of any code or any standard laid down by the council. The norms governing family pension to a divorced daughter are relaxed. Union Minister Jitendra Singh has stated that now a daughter of a deceased employee or a pensioner would be entitled to family pension even if she hadn't gotten divorce, but she has filed for a divorce during the lifetime of her deceased parent. In a first of its kind move, the BMC has filed an FIR against a person for not wearing a mask under Section 188 of the Indian Penal Code, which provides for disobedience to an order which is duly promulgated by a public servant. And this section is often used by the government against those who violate lockdown rules under the Epidemic Diseases Act. In a major twist which has taken the entire nation by surprise, the 23-year-old LLM student who had accused former BJP MP Chinmayanand of sexual exploitation last year, she has turned hostile before a special MP-MLA court in Lucknow. Stunned over this development, the prosecution team immediately moved an application under Section 340 of the CRPC, seeking action against her for perjury. Now let's proceed with the last segment of our news analysis, which is the international news. The Pakistan Supreme Court has issued a notice to Prime Minister Imran Khan for attending a political gathering of lawyers who are supportive of his party allegiance by allegedly using public funds. The Bangladesh President Mohammed Hamid has signed an ordinance approving the death penalty for rapists amid nationwide protest after a serious recent sexual assault in the country. A woman in the US has been awarded 20 years jail term for killing her rapist in allegedly self-defense of herself. That's all we have for this week. The link of all these news updates is made available in the description section. You may refer to them for further information. Thank you for being with us.